BYD just launched a 7-seat electric SUV with 950 kilometers of range, a starting price under $34,000. And it took 30,000 pre-orders in the first 24 hours. That's not a typo, that's one day. And while car buyers were rushing to reserve one, the US government was busy doing something almost nobody expected, adding BYD to an official list of companies it says are tied to the Chinese military. I'll get to why that actually matters more than the SUV itself. Subscribe so you catch breakthroughs like this before the headlines catch up. Here's why this matters to you. A full-size, 3-row electric SUV from an established Western brand. Think Range Rover, Rivian, the electric Escalade, typically starts somewhere between $80,000 and $100,000 once you're in a comparable size and range class. BYD just put a rival on the market for roughly a third of that, and the number that made 30,000 people put money down before test driving it wasn't the price, it was the range. Think about what that actually forces every automaker in this segment to reckon with. A 3-row SUV is supposed to be the vehicle that tests an EV's limits the hardest. Heavier body, more glass, more climate zones to run, a bigger battery just to keep range respectable. That's exactly why almost every full-size electric SUV on the market still struggles to clear 300 miles without serious compromises on weight or price. BYD didn't just match that number, it nearly doubled it. In a vehicle that costs less than the compact electric SUVs, some Western brands are still trying to sell above $50,000. The car is called the Great Tang, also sold in some markets as the Datang, and it debuted at the Beijing Auto Show earlier this year as the new flagship of BYD's Dynasty lineup, the brand's premium line sitting above its budget-focused Ocean models. On the Chinese test cycle, BYD is claiming 950 kilometers of range, close to 590 miles, which would put it among the longest-range EVs sold anywhere on Earth, in a segment where most Western automakers are still fighting to break 300 miles. But here's the part I've been holding back, the spec that actually explains the 30,000 pre-orders. The Great Tang launches with BYD's latest flash charge system, capable of adding roughly 200 kilometers of range in about 5 minutes. That's not a fast charge, that's almost a splash and go. Pair that with a roof-mounted LiDAR sensor and BYD's God's Eye B driver assist suite, technology that, on Western badges, usually shows up exclusively on 6-figure flagships. And you've got a 7-seat family SUV that charges like a gas station fill-up and drives itself like a luxury sedan, starting at less than the price of a loaded Ford Explorer. And the Great Tang isn't a one-off. It's landing inside a company that just had its best year ever. BYD sold over 2.25 million fully electric vehicles in 2025 alone, more than 600,000 vehicles ahead of Tesla, and that's before you even count its plug-in hybrids. Its Ocean lineup, the budget-focused side of the business, grew sales over 14% year-on-year in 2025. This isn't a company scraping together one flashy launch to grab headlines. It's a company that can put a flagship SUV with this spec sheet on the market and still call it just one more model in a lineup that already outsells everyone. And BYD isn't stretching itself thin to cover every price point either. While the Great Tang anchors the top of the Dynasty lineup, the company's Ocean lineup just launched its own new flagship sedan, the Seal 08, built on a second-generation Blade battery and an 800-volt platform that charges from 10% to 97% in about 9 minutes. That means BYD now has genuine flagship-tier technology, fast charging, long range, driver assist hardware, spread across 2 separate product lines at 2 very different price points, instead of reserving it for one halo car nobody can actually afford. That's the part legacy automakers are struggling to answer. It's not one impressive car. It's the same technology showing up everywhere, all at once, across an entire catalog. So why is America panicking? And not just car buyers. Because the Great Tang launch landed the same season the Pentagon added BYD to its list of companies it identifies as having ties to the Chinese military, a designation BYD has pushed back on hard, with company leadership calling the claim false and vowing to fight it through every legal option available. Whatever the ultimate outcome of that fight, the fact that the world's largest EV maker just got flagged by the US Department of Defense in the same window it's dropping a $34,000 flagship SUV with a 5-minute charge time tells you something about how seriously Washington is taking this. You don't put a foreign automaker on a military watch list because you're unbothered by its market share. And BYD isn't waiting around to find out how that plays out. The company has openly stated its ambition to become the world's leading global automaker within 5 years. And it's backing that up with infrastructure, not just cars. Its flash charging stations, the same 5-minute fill tech going into the Great Tang, are already live in Europe and the UK way. And BYD has said pricing on some of those chargers could undercut Tesla's own supercharger network. Meanwhile, the Great Tang stablemate, the Denza GT-Z9, is currently in the middle of a 9,300-mile drive from Rome to Hong Kong, a rolling demonstration that these cars, and the charging network behind them, are meant to work just as well outside China as inside it. None of this means the Great Tang shows up in an American driveway next year. Tariffs on Chinese-made EVs, stacked with the new military supply chain designation, make a US launch a political fight, not just a business decision. But Europe, the UK, Australia, and most of Asia don't have that wall up, and BYD is building flagship SUVs, charging networks, and pre-order numbers in all of them at the same time. Australian outlets are already asking whether the Great Tang could land locally, and industry watchers there point out that if BYD brings a genuine 7-seat, long-range SUV in at a competitive price, it wouldn't just take sales from luxury SUV brands. It would pressure the entire family SUV segment on towing capacity, seating, and range all at once. The same 3-front squeeze BYD has already run on sedans and compact SUVs in market after market. That's really the pattern worth watching. This isn't BYD winning one segment and stopping. It's BYD entering a segment, undercutting the price, matching or beating the range, and then doing it again, one class up, while the rest of the industry is still figuring out how to respond to the last one. So while Washington debates whether BYD belongs on a military watch list, 30,000 people in China already decided they wanted the car badly enough to pay for one sight unseen. Now you know why. If this breakdown was worth your time, hit that thumbs up. Share it with someone who thinks American automakers still have a comfortable lead, and subscribe so you don't miss what BYD launches next. Real question for the comments. If the Great Tang were sold in your country tomorrow at this price, would you cross-shop it against your next SUV? Tell me below.